This is a review of my all-time favorite Bible as of 2024. This is a Lion and Lamb rebind of an NIV 1978 by Zondervan. I got the Bible used off of eBay, 2022 probably, and then I had it rebound in 2023. Originally it was from 1979, as you see there from the previous owners. I bought it on a whim, but it is a fantastic Bible, so I'll be reviewing both the Zondervan typesetting and original binding and the Lion and Lamb rebind of it. Lion and Lamb is produced by Nick, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Karamitsos, from Toronto area, Canada. So let me talk about the typesetting first. As you might imagine, there are various pages at the beginning, such as the presentation page, a marriage page, births, deaths, family record, church record. The paper itself, this is the first full edition of the Bible translation that Zondervan put out. NIV New Testament came out in 73, I believe, and this is the 78 edition. And so you'll see it right here, the NIV 1978. And you can see the previous books that came out in the various years. 70 for John, 75 for Isaiah, 76 for Daniel, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and 77. And this is the second printing. I absolutely love this typesetting. The font is just a standard Palatino, but it strikes me as being on the darker side of a Palatino font. I have other works that use Palatino, and they're not quite as dark as this, but I love the darkness of the Palatino font in this Bible. It's a 2-column setting, and I love the dark chapter numbers, but the light verse numbers. Sometimes translations, let me see if I can find one here. They will embolden the verse numbers, and it just sticks out a little bit too much to me. Like here's a CSB, for instance. This is just a CSB Pew Bible. And if you're reading in the translation itself, I find, in my personal opinion, the verse numbers stick out too much. So I appreciate the fact that the NIV's original typesetting did not use a bolder font for the verse numbers. This is a black text edition, by the way. The headings are in italics, and it does have additional, like in Psalms, where it will say section 1 and section 2. Let me see if I can find an example of that. Book 1 and book 2 and so forth. So we'll say that in there. The gutter is tight if you're wanting to make notes in the gutter, but otherwise I find it to be a pretty generous gutter. It doesn't strike me as too tight, and nor does the text squeeze too far in. I personally find that the double column lends itself better to gutter problems than single columns, but that's my personal opinion. The pages, from what I can tell by researching online, are India paper pages. In other words, they don't make paper like this anymore. It's thick, but not really thick. But what you'll notice is that it's extremely opaque. So like, for instance, if you can barely read the word Job coming through there from the other page. I find that even if I make marks, which I just did recently on Psalm 130, and admittedly it's in pencil, but I don't find that it comes through very much. So there's a little mark right there, and if you flip over the page, it's not there. Here's my marks on Psalm 130, and when you flip over the page, you can't even tell that it's there. My particular edition came with a number of different, here's some of the other markings I made. My particular edition came with some pen markings because I bought it used off of eBay. And so that's just part of eBay Bible surfing. Like for instance right here, there's just some mistakes the person made, the previous owner, some random marks, which I don't love, but overall the Bible is great. Now for the Lion and Lamb aspect of it. Lion and Lamb is, in my opinion, the premier Bible rebinding service in North America and probably the world. I got raised hubs rather than tooled hubs, and it kind of has a tooled feel anyway, so I didn't feel like I was missing out by having tooled and raised hubs. Gold lettering here, gold lettering there. I chose not to have a Bible translation on the spine because I'm annoyed by the fact that so many Bible translations have to have their party line and everybody's on a team and fans of a different team. So I'm not a huge fan of translations on the spine, but if you like that, great. I just chose not to have it on mine, and I think it looks just fine. This is the Jerusalem cross, but if you can tell from the camera, it has some letters, which I admit I can't remember what they stand for. There's some Greek abbreviation, and that's blind stamped, and then it has tooled, what do they call that? Tooled edge right there. This says a full yap edition with a, what do they call that? It's like a dark brown mocha, I think is the word for it, mocha colored lambskin liner. It is edge lined, of course, and then this is just a very dark brown front pages, and then there's a white headband with brown, red, and gold, and I did that intentionally with those colors. I did darker in the Old Testament, then red in the middle, and then lightest in the New Testament, because I wanted to show that there's more light in the New Testament. We know more about who Jesus is in the New Testament. There's my little prayer reminder, who to pray for on what particular day. I added, and I didn't get, by the way, the gold line, I forget what they call that, on the inside right there. I decided to go against that for just a more undistracting reading setting. And I'm glad I did, although I think I probably could have gotten that. It probably wouldn't have been too distracting after all. As you might expect, Nick's edges, or his corners, are spectacular. This is just as good as you would get in any Schuyler or Allen, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fanboy. Here's the back liner, and it's a very soft. The goat skin itself. This is a red. What did I call that? This is a dark red goat skin, and it has black wrinkles. I think they've been calling this patinat in recent videos. Espresso, that's what I'm looking for, not mocha. It's espresso. And I changed from 4 ribbons to 3 because I thought it would be a little full to have 4 ribbons. A tooled exterior perimeter, that's what's called. That's what that's called right here. And I added, for my own sake, the red geranium art gilding on the side. I'm not a pro, but I think it turned out pretty well. Considering it's a 40-something-year-old Bible, I think it turned out pretty well. And I like the dark red look of it. So thanks to Nick. Oh, I love that wrinkling right there. And the same thing right there. I just love the wrinkles. It's not as soft of a goat skin as I would anticipate. For instance, I have a Schuyler personal size Quintel in CSB right here, and it's a much more, I guess the word is soft or smooth goat skin. This is a more textured and thick red, dark red patinate goat skin. I hope that will mean it will wear better. I've already had this since October and reading it every day. I got a little bit of wearing right there, but it's not too bad. And overall, it's just a very durable. And it's in a rounded spine too. I didn't order it that way, but that's the way Nick did it for me, and it's fine. I'm not professional enough to know the difference or why people prefer the flat edge like you would see in a Skylar, like here, or the rounded edge, but I'm assuming that there's some reason Nick did it that way, and I'm very happy with it overall. So thanks to Nick for the wonderful Bible. He did not give me a discount. He definitely didn't give it to me for free, but this is just because I enjoy reading a good Bible, and I hope to make this my normal reading Bible, my favorite reading Bible for many years to come.